What's going on YouTube? Dave back here, and today we have an unboxing from you. This comes from our special friends over at hobbywave.com for all your modeling needs, supplies, and gunpla kits. $12 flat rate shipping anywhere in the US. Great people over there. They've stuck with me throughout the years. Appreciate it. Every once in a while they send me a surprise, and this happens to be one of them. Today's unboxing, compliments of them and a surprise to me, is the master grade PSYCHO ZAKU. I actually wasn't going to get this at first, and after seeing everybody doing some work on it and everything, it kind of intrigued me. Plus it's a Zaku. How can you go wrong with a mono eye? Really? And it's red. Completely awesome. And to go along with this, I think tomorrow I'll have an unboxing. This turned into unboxing week accidentally. Tomorrow I'll have an unboxing of the Full Armor Gundam, which will oppose this. So stick with me. We're going to go over the runners and the booklet, which I'm excited to take a look at. I haven't flipped through it yet. We'll do that together. I've heard they've actually changed some things with this booklet. Can't wait to see that. So hold on just a second and we'll get down to the table. All right, boys and girls, here we are down with the booklet for the PSYCHO ZAKU Gundam Thunderbolt version Ka, and this is the 0079 Living Dead Division. Pages 2 and 3, you get a shot of the whole thing built up with the decals. You get a shot of all these weapons and everything that comes on the backpack. Holy hell, there's a lot of stuff. You get a shot of the folding arms, which are up in here. Shot with the base. That's one thing I do to have to give this credit for, is they gave a base with it. And here is what's super cool. Like, I am actually giddy like a little girl. Look, English, English, English. I have actually gotten used to using an app on my phone, Google Translate, where you can hold it over the imaging and it translates the words if the language is in there. So that's come in handy for me. But this is actually awesome that they are starting to cater more to the English-based audience. Pages 4 and 5, you get the runner layout. You do get a bunch of parts like here, 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 that are not used. Continuation on 6 and 7, more parts that are not used. And you get the beginning of the body itself. On pages 8 and 9, continuation of the body. Of course, you have the stupid wraps that come on there, and I don't think I'm going to end up using them, but we'll end up seeing. I have plenty of metal parts, and I'm not going for anime accuracy. But again, awesome that all the instructions have English underneath all of them. Pages 10 and 11, continuation, you've got the arms, you've got the shield. Pages 12 and 13, finalizing the assembly of the chest, head, and arms. You get the beginning of the legs. Pages 14 and 15, continuation of the legs. 16, 17, continuation of more of the legs. Now, this is one thing that I am going to have to say. Looking at some of the parts on here, it kind of looks like they mashed part of this guy along with the Johnny Ridden version, which has those big skirts on the legs. It kind of looks like they mashed a bunch of Zaku parts together from different kits to make this up. Though I am not complaining. Here you have a center shot, the colors, added putty prototype. See, this is stuff that you would never end up reading unless you read Japanese with the other manuals that they were doing. Models to instruct the developing team on the shape of the elbows and the forearms. So they did end up changing some of the shapes of stuff. But I am super stoked about this, that they added the English to this. 2021, you get the waist parts and doing the side skirts. There are a lot of segments that go into the skirt. Page 21, you're starting to add on yet another layer of armor onto the legs. Pages 22, 23, all the weapons. Have I mentioned that the instruction booklet is pretty much a novel? 24, 25, beginning of the large backpack. It actually says large backpack. 26, 27, continuation of the large backpack. And it's showing putting onto the base that of course they include, showing flipping down the leg piece, the foot pieces for, I'm assuming for traction control or landing on objects, grasping onto them. Pages 28-29, you begin the assembly of the boosters and then the weapon attachments to said boosters. And if you thought it was a pain in the ass before when it came to building all the weapons and everything, guess what? You have even more to build now. Pages 32-33, continuation of the boosters and adding all the weapons onto the boosters. Over here you have, let's see, please note, plastic model may become unstable depending on how parts are attached. You have the foldable arms, and you have when, if not using the base, you have this piece, though I would suggest even with the base, using this piece. On page 34, you have your complete diagram, your color chart, you have decal placement for the weapons. Pages 35 and 36, you have decal placement all over the rest of the kit, being the boosters, the backpack, the main body, the arms, the shield, pretty much everything. On page 37, you get some information about Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, and most of this is, all this part is in Japanese, and you get the back of the instruction booklet. Going over some of this stuff real quick, you get 2 springs. Evidently this was in the bottom of the package, and this looks to be a revision on the instructions on placing the decals onto the heat hawks. Sorry if there's too much glare. You get 3 packets of the bags, what people are calling them, that go over the joints. With this being a Verkaw, you actually get a water slide decal sheet. Very cool. All right, starting off with runner A1, you get this grayish white section over here. You get this funky gold, as far as I can describe it, section here, which are all these little booster parts. And then you get this orange section right here. Runner A2, you get a couple more clear sections. I'm assuming that these are for the weapons. More gold parts and continuation of the orange parts down here. Runner B, you actually get a bluish gray section. This is part of the frame, head, weapons handles over here. I'm assuming this is part of the booster unit. When I took it out of the package, these had already popped off of the runner. They're just very thin tags that hold them on, so just be cautious of that. Runner C, continuation of frame parts. This looks to be part of the add-on armor parts for the legs. Leg armor parts. Bottom of the feet here. Forgot to mention on Runner C, you actually get 2 of these. Runner D, continuation in the gray parts that kind of have a bluish tint to them. Runner D, there are 2 of. Runner F, you get continuation of frame parts. These are Zaku 2.0 parts. G, continuation of Zaku 2.0 parts. H, again, continuation of joints and frame parts for the 2.0 Zaku. Runner I, you actually get, there's some boosters or thrusters on here, joints on here. This looks like vents over here. You actually get 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Runner E, which is in a white color, more of a matte white color. There are 2 of these. Runner J, which are bazooka parts, part of the Heat Hawk, weapons in general. There are 2 of these runners. Runner K is in this nice deep red color, and you get shoulder parts. There's part for the shield, armor add-ons. Runner L1, continuation of this great red color. You have skirt parts, top of the head, arm parts, just multiple parts that are on here. Runner L2, part of the feet, just continuation of L1, the duplicate parts. Runner N, this is actually labeled ABS. This is going to be part for the backpack, and this is that piece that sits in the back to hold up the booster units. Runner O, which is part of the bazookas. I think this is the larger bazookas. There's the shells. You actually get 1, 2, 3 of. So like I was saying before, if you hate putting together the weapons and dealing with all the seam lines and everything, this kit is not for you. Another piece that's marked Runner O, and this is actually the base for the kit. Runner P you get, and it is in a brown color. Not quite sure why they went with brown, but they went with a brown color, and these are the booster units. There's actually 2 of these. Runner Q1, you get the end of the booster units, more booster unit add-ons. This actually looks to be the backside of hand, thumb. Runner Q2, continuation of the back, the booster units and backpack. Runner R1, these are in a deep navy color. These look to be a part of the armor pieces. I'm not sure which pieces get used and not used, because this looks like part of the side of the chest. This, I believe, is for part of the end of the large booster unit, but there's a tip for a foot, a kneecap, part of the arm there. So I'm not sure what pieces end up getting used and not used on this. Runner R2, continuation from R1 of the duplicate parts. Runner S1 looks to be a part of the backpack, the super hyper bazooka, and you get the camper faust, more of the machine gun ammo. S2 is just a continuation of S1, the duplicate parts. Last but definitely not least is your polycap runner. This is it right here. I was actually overly surprised, considering Zaku, with all the parts and everything on it, that most of it's going to be working on friction versus having polycaps. We'll have to see how that ends up holding up over time. I want to thank every one of you for tuning in to watch this with me. I'm going to start working on this so I can do a review up for you guys. Like I said, special thank you to hobbywave.com for getting this out to me. It was a surprise because I actually ordered it, and they ended up sending it to me so that I could review it for them and for you guys. So thank you, Hobbywave, for that. Definitely check them out at hobbywave.com. Always got great deals. And like I said, flat $12 shipping in the US, whether you buy 1 kit or 200 kits, they don't care. And great prices to boot. So thanks for sticking with me. And I got more stuff coming. I've got the full armor coming. And I actually got, as a teaser for you guys, because I know you love my tool, love going over tools, I ended up picking up a pair of these. Do they cut it? I don't know. We'll find out. And you want to see more? Definitely click that subscribe button right about there. If you want to see one of my other videos, like my last upload, definitely check right about there. As usual, YouTube, thanks for sticking with me. Peace out.